In this video, I'll be talking about 10-5, subtracting mixed numbers. When we subtract mixed numbers, we do the same steps almost that we did for adding mixed numbers. So if I have a problem like 7 and 2/3 minus 3 and 5/6, the first thing I'm going to do is stack them one on top of the other. And then I need to find a common denominator. So for these two fractions, a common denominator would be 6. So I'm going to rewrite them using the denominator 6. 2/3 is equal to 4/6. Now I can subtract. It's important for subtracting fractions and mixed numbers that we start with the fraction part, because I cannot do 4/6 minus 5/6. So that means that I need to take one whole from this 7. So I'm going to turn that 7 into a 6 now. And I'm going to take the one whole, which would be 6/6, and combine it over here with my 4/6. So now I have 6/6 and 4/6, which is 10/6. Now I can subtract 10/6 minus 5/6. So 10/6 minus 5/6 is 5/6. And now I can subtract my whole numbers. Because I borrowed that one whole, I have 6 left here, minus 3 is 3 wholes. So my final answer is 3 and 5/6. I'm going to make sure that that is reasonable by estimating as well. So 7 and 2/3 would round up to 8, and 3 and 5/6 would round up to 4. 8 minus 4 is 4, so 3 and 5/6 is reasonable. Let's look at another example together. We are going to look at 9 and 1/3 minus 4 and 3/4. The first thing I need to do is find my common denominator. For 4 and 3, I'll use 12. So 1/3 is 4/12, and 3/4 is 9/12. So now I'm going to start with my fraction, and I'm going to subtract those. But I cannot do 4/12 minus 9/12. And you can't just flip it and make it 9/12 minus 4/12. You have to do what's on top minus what's on bottom. So I'll need to borrow one from over here. I'll turn the 9 into an 8. And I'll put a whole over here. But I'm going to write my whole as 12/12. So now I have 4/12 plus 12/12, which is 16/12. Now I can subtract. 16/12 minus 9/12 is 7/12. And then I'll subtract my whole numbers. 8 minus 4 is 4. So my final answer is 4 and 7/12, which if I had estimated, I would have 9 minus 5, which is 4. So that is reasonable. We'll look at one more example together. 8 and 1/4 minus 2 and 7/8. If I estimate, I would have 8 minus 3, because 8 rounds down and 2 and 7/8 rounds up. So my estimate is 5. I'm going to rewrite these using common denominators. So 8 and 1/4 and 2 and 7/8 have 8 as a common denominator. So I can leave this bottom fraction the same as 7/8, and 1/4 will become 2/8. I'm going to start by subtracting the fractions, but I can't subtract 2 minus 7. So I'll borrow one whole from this 8 and make it 7, and I'll put the whole over here, but I'm going to write it as 8/8. So 2/8 plus 8/8 is 10/8. So now I have 7 and 10/8 minus 2 and 7/8. 10/8 minus 7/8 is 3/8, and 7 minus 2 is 5. So my final answer is 5 and 3/8, which is reasonable because it's close to 5. I want you to try this one on your own. It's a word problem, so be careful. The average weight of a basketball is 21 and 1/10 ounces. The average weight of a baseball is 5 and 1/4 ounces. How many more ounces does the baseball weigh? Make sure you show your work and write down your final answer.